Breaking news here. I just received word from the Newcastle News, an article written by Patrick Litowitz from the Newcastle News. Lawrence County's District Attorney Josh Lamacusa has basically found improper activity regarding Frank Bonjavingo Jr.'s handling of the City Football Youth League finances. And as a result, he is basically going to unearth a criminal investigation against Frank Bonjavingo Jr. He's quoted as saying, "I reviewed the content, and the state police have basically uncovered evidence that's best handled by the criminal justice system." These are strong words. It's a criminal investigation, and I'm bound by that. I think the state will want to obtain additional information. Now, a little history on this. Frank Bonjavingo requested and received control of the City Youth Football League by a 9-0 vote during a March 2008 school board meeting in Newcastle. The Tri-County Youth Football League had threatened to ban the city teams from participation unless they were under the district football program supervision, he had stated. And as a result, he got control of the program itself. Now, the squads feature students in grades 3 through 6. The teams are not considered to be part of the district football program, though. Bonjavingo and his wife Karen handled the league's funds from March 2009 through July 2010, and Bonjavingo was the primary signer on the football account. Parents Volunteer Group oversees the finances while Bonjavingo supervises and coaches in the program. So the fact that it's going to the Attorney General, I don't think that the charges anything as far as it changes anything as far as I'm concerned, said Josh Lamacusa. If anything, it's placed more money in that bank account than it's ever been reimbursed to him. Now, according to Frank Bonjavingo's attorney, John Bonjavingo, who is the former district attorney, John Bonjavingo has stated that I've reviewed all the records as well as all the school board transcripts, and I don't see anywhere where there's any wrongdoing whatsoever. Now, these are also some very strong words, and one which causes both of us, I think, here to arch a couple eyebrows, because now we have one district attorney, Josh Lamacusa, stating, hey, penalty, foul, we've got improper and inappropriate activity, and then we have a former district attorney, the one who preceded Josh Lamacusa, stating, hey, there's nothing wrong here whatsoever. Now, this is something that we have to kind of take a very close look at. Alex, do you have any thoughts on this as we proceed with this?
Well, usually when there's a lot of smoke, there's a fire. So, like you said, everyone's raising their eyebrow right now, and these are some pretty heavy accusations being made against him. So I'm sure something did go down. I mean, of course, we don't know the full story. To give my honest and full opinion, I really have to wait and see what else develops. But I'm pretty confident that there was some kind of wrongdoing. And like I said, when this kind of stuff gets brought up, there is usually a source and there usually is a reason behind it.
One of the things that we have to keep a close eye on is the fact that we just did a segment on John Matarazzo, who is will be a senior next year at Newcastle High School. Something like this could cause a coaching change and perhaps an interruption in John Matarazzo's development.
Well, from a coach's perspective, I really hope it wouldn't change any views on John Matarazzo. If you're a college coach looking for a good, solid quarterback, he's your guy. Any of this stuff really shouldn't have too much attention and too much criticism brought on Matarazzo. And, you would hope that would be the case, but everyone's going to have their opinions. However, I honestly think it won't affect any type of recruiting. It won't give any recruiting issues to Matarazzo and his development.
Wow. And the fact that we have both John Bonjavingo, the coach's attorney and former district attorney, squaring off with Josh Lamacusa, this is going to become a battle royale, and it's going to be something which is going to be played out, I believe, on center stage in Newcastle, probably for the next year to come. Now, going on, looking at what else has been written in the article itself, basically, with the district attorney's approval, the state police obtained a search warrant on June 25th of this past year, 2010, for Frank and Karen Bonjavingo's personal bank accounts at PNC Bank. The warrant focused on 12 airline tickets purchased for $3,146.40 in April of 2009. They were paid from the Youth Football League's account, the state police had alleged, or basically had stated. During a 2010 interview in July with the Newcastle News, Frank Bonjavingo said the transaction was a simple and honest mistake that was rectified. The tickets were for a graduation trip to Florida that included Bonjavingo's son Michael and 11 classmates. The students gave Karen Bonjavingo money for the trip, expecting a price increase. She ordered the tickets and apparently utilized that money that came from the City Youth Football League finances, which seems to be the gist of this investigation. We received the confirmation from the airlines on April 13th, the coach said. On the same day, we realized we had given them the wrong numbers. It was simply a matter of grabbing the wrong credit card. Karen Bonjavingo made two deposits totaling $2,470.70 into the football account on April 13th. After the transaction occurred, the money was returned in full by July 3rd. The remaining monies came from the kids that hadn't paid, said Frank Bonjavingo Jr., who was hired as the head football coach back in June of 2005. So, yes, obviously where there's smoke, there seems to be some fire, and perhaps there is something deeper than what was already reported. Hopefully, for the sake of Newcastle's program, this will get rectified.
We would both hope that this doesn't affect Newcastle's program at all. But you know what, Greg? Any type of controversy certainly can affect a program and put it in a negative light. From now until this case is solved, this is going to be the one thing that's magnified. Not the football, not Matarazzo, but unfortunately this controversy will be magnified. And hopefully for Newcastle's program, they'll be able to get past this. But from now until whenever this is solved, this is going to be the main focal point, and it's really a shame considering all the success Newcastle's been having.
Yeah, and also depending upon how protracted this thing becomes, we may see perhaps a flight of players perhaps going to private schools from the Newcastle program. I know Kennedy Catholic is looking to upgrade their football team in a very, very big way, but there's other schools that are out there too that, if you're John Matarazzo's parent, do you want to keep him in a program which it might be a sinking ship with investigations galore, or do you want to put him in a program where he can be spotlighted and shown to college recruits throughout the country?
Well, you know what? I would keep him there. Like I said before, this shouldn't affect his recruitment too much, but I wouldn't blame the parents if they took him out. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. He has a couple more years left there. He knows the system. He knows his players. Keep him there unless something major happens in the foreseeable future.
When you say a couple more years, Alex, we're looking at 2012 graduating. He's going into his senior year, and this is the most crucial time for him as a quarterback, especially to be looking at colleges and universities. And the wrong college. Let's put it this way. Youngstown State versus Michigan. Maybe Michigan would shy away from this guy because I don't know. This is something that we need to kind of keep a close eye on and see how this plays out and see where things are going. But there's concern.
Well, if it does affect his recruiting and all, then yeah, let's get him out of there. But, I'm not worried too much about it. I probably would not be the best person to ask about that. He should ask, his other fellow coaches. He should ask, someone else other than me because I'm not particularly involved in that field. But I don't think a true college coach that knows football and knows his players would really look at this incident and say to himself, hey, Matarazzo was involved in some, bad activity. He can't play for us. It wasn't his fault. It's not him.
No, it's not him, but what it does is it provides a big enough distraction on the program itself. When a program is all of a sudden deemed unclean or under investigation.
Well, I will say, might raise a few eyebrows. They might think, even if there's nothing against Matarazzo, people could say, how do we know he didn't know anything? So if that is the case, if it's a case of Matarazzo knowing something and not telling anyone, then he might get in trouble for that. But it's so hard to form an opinion right now. And, this case is still in its infancy.
Well, the other thing, too, is Matarazzo is not involved with this, at least
He's
on
not.
the onset. This has to deal with the city youth football league's finances. But my concern with the recruits, or with the possible recruits, is the distraction that this would play on them as they are playing the games, against the North Alleghenies, against the Mount Lebanons, going out there, having this black cloud over their head. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about is this controversy going to mire them into a situation where it would not be as good for them as if they would be elsewhere.
I understand your viewpoint. Just for me to give a formal opinion until more facts come out, I won't be able to give an honest one. So I guess right now we're just going to have to wait and see what happens.
We're all in agreement on this. More to come.